national NBA reporter for Forbes, Evan Sidery. Evan, I'm sorry you had to wade through with us all that Taylor Swift talk. I apologize for that, but thanks for your time.
Oh, no problem at all, fellas. Appreciate the invite.
Yeah. De'Aaron Fox. There's been a lot of, I think it's just speculation at this point that other teams are monitoring the situation. As you can imagine, a lot of Kings fans are getting nervous. Kyle Draper's hearing things at the arena. People are asking about trades, this or that. As far as you know, based on your inside look at this, is all the Fox trade stuff at this point, is it pure speculation from people who are waiting to see if this gets worse for the Kings?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So Kings fans, take a deep breath. I think that those are pretty blown out of proportion right now with the De'Aaron Fox rumors. The Kings have not discussed anything about trading De'Aaron Fox. I don't see that changing really anytime soon, at least for this point. So I would definitely say De'Aaron Fox is staying put in Sacramento.
Hey, Evan, what are you hearing, if anything, regarding Sacramento? Because a lot of people out here, including myself, think that maybe they need to be buyers coming up at the trade deadline. Do you think it'll be an active next 2 months? And do you think Sacramento could be a player?
I actually don't think it'll be much activity over the next few months. I think you will see a couple teams here and there, like the Kings, for example, who I think have pushed their chips into the middle of the table. And with how slow they had the start to their season, I think they're a team to certainly watch out for to make up for their slow start. I think that's kind of the teams you'll be eyeing here, like Sacramento. Maybe you see a team like the Lakers, the Suns, those teams kind of in the middle of the pack of the Western Conference, kind of jockeying out. I think that's kind of trying to be the market out west, is those 3 or 4 teams, maybe another one pops in the mix there. But I think the Kings certainly make sense as a buyer because you have your chips in the middle of the table with this core of De'Aaron Fox, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis, and now DeMar DeRozan. And I think you have to go and add one more piece to that puzzle. It just seems right now that they're one more piece away from making it to another postseason run. I would keep an eye on Brooklyn just because this is simply speculation on my end on this point. But a team like Brooklyn with a Cam Johnson, a Dorian Finney-Smith, they're certainly sellers right now. I think Sacramento, those types of guys, then those types of situations, I think we'll certainly keep an eye out for Sacramento.
Oh, my heart started thumping when you mentioned Cam Johnson. Evan Sidery from the Forbes with us. Want to ask you about a player specifically. What is the market for John Collins as far as we know? And I know Kyle Draper, to his credit, he's been for a long time talking about what a good fit John Collins would be. And I know John Collins is playing very well right now. So where do you think trade situation is with him and the Jazz?
Yeah, I think John Collins, and unfortunately for him, nothing to the fault of his own, but I think he signed an overpaid contract with Atlanta a couple years ago, and he's just been in trade rumors ever since then. And he's a solid player. I'm a big John Collins fan. I think he's a really good fit as a fifth starter on a team, maybe like for a team like a Sacramento, for example. I don't think the price is going to be that much because they have openly shopped John Collins really over the last calendar year since acquiring him. And they've been looking for a first-round pick. Of course, no one's going to bite on that, especially for the $26.5 million salary he has for this year. But also next year, I think he's going to definitely opt in to that player option for next season at $26.5 million. So it'd be like an 18-month rental of John Collins, or if all goes well, it could be a long-term deal. I think a guy like John Collins, just speculation on my end on this point, I think it'll probably be multiple second-round picks for John Collins at most.
Wow, that's sign me up. I understand the financials of it. You got to, make the salaries work, but I think he would fit in perfectly. With that being said, Evan, I feel like it's a seller's market right now. And but it sounds like you can get a guy like Collins on the cheap, which it doesn't, jive with me there. Just explain, your belief that it might be a seller's market, but there might be some value out there that you could get on some guys.
Yeah, I think that certain situations, and I think a lot of it, especially now in this new NBA era of the second apron, contracts matter. The money matters for a lot of teams. And a team like Sacramento, for example, I think that matters too. I don't think they really want to pay much more in a trade than the salary that they're sending out. And that's a lot of situations now for contending teams they have to look out for, is kind of trying to shed money in the process of a trade. But I think with Sacramento, that is something to watch out for there in that deal. But John Collins, multiple second-round picks, I think the salary is the reason why there. $26.5 million. He's a great player. But I think if you see a guy, Cam Johnson, under contract for the next 2.5 years at $23 million this year, but it descends next couple of years, $22 million flat the next couple of years after this one, I think he's certainly a guy. That's why the market for Cam Johnson is a first-round pick or more compared to a guy like John Collins for multiple second-round picks.
Evan Sidery is with it. Evan, I want to make sure I get your name right because, we see your name and I follow you on X. is the way you prefer pronounced Sidery or Sidery?
No, you had it right the first time, fellas.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
Sidery.
exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Evan Sidery with us. I understand, based on what you've posted on X, a lot of centers could be available at the deadline, huh?
Yes, certainly. You look for teams like Utah, like we just mentioned, Walker Kessler. Utah is going to hold a very high price for him, probably 2 first-round picks for a guy like Walker Kessler. But you see other players, Jonas Valanciunas. I think he signed that contract with the Wizards in agreement that he'd probably be traded soon after that for the Wizards to get some value there. He's a guy to watch out for. I think he's probably going to be one of the first dominoes to fall in the market. He's been openly shopped at this point by the Wizards. Robert Williams, I think he's a guy, maybe even in Sacramento, I think he's a guy that makes a lot of sense. A rim protector that can really finish the Domas, let him play his playmaking role. And he can, if he's healthy, I think Robert Williams is a top 20 center in the NBA. But Portland, I think he's probably worth a first-round pick or more for a Robert Williams type of trade. Portland also, as well, is going to be shopping Jeremy Grant. That's another name to watch out for on the wing. But then also on the center market, too, you see like Valanciunas, Walker Kessler, Robert Williams, and then maybe a couple others on the market as well that we see fall over the dominoes over the next couple months or so. But yeah, it's going to be a very, very high big man market. There's going to be other teams that are going to be selling centers. I know I posted my list a couple days ago. I don't know why I'm blanking on some names here, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of names in that list that definitely check a lot of boxes.
Evan, what's going to happen with that team down the road for us, Golden State? Are they selling off some young pieces, you think, here in the next couple of months?
Unless they do that, guys, it's going to be for a star-level player, and I don't see that star-level player come on the horizon this year at the deadline. So I would say that those young guys are probably staying put. The Jonathan Kuminga situation is one to watch out for. He did not sign a contract extension. He believes he's a max-level player. The Warriors do not think that, so it's just kind of a stalemate right now. And he's a restricted free agent anyway, so the Warriors hold all the power next summer anyways for Jonathan Kuminga. But, unless they get it, I think they really missed their chance this summer. They had the opportunity to go get Lauri Markkanen for a lot of draft picks and just simply including Brandon Podziemski did not want to do that. And now Lauri Markkanen's staying in Utah long term. And then Paul George wanted to go to Golden State. The Clippers didn't want to help him out there, so he ends up in Philadelphia. I think missing out back-to-back the way they did, 2 big swings and misses from the Warriors, they're in a really precarious spot right now.
Evan, I just wanted to help you out, just checking what you've posted, talking about centers. You also mentioned on X, Vucevic and I think even Nurkic, right? You think the Suns are going to try to move off of him?
Yeah, we'll start off with Nikola Vucevic. Thanks for mentioning him. He's definitely another name to watch out for with Chicago because they are going to be shopping Vucevic, Levine, Lonzo Ball. They're a team like Brooklyn's going to be having a fire sale here soon. They want to preserve their top 6 protected pick in this year's draft. But Vucevic will probably be a guy get you multiple second-round picks. Maybe you throw in a salary filler or something along those lines. But, yeah, Vucevic is one to watch out for there. And then Jusuf Nurkic, he's on such a bad contract right now for Phoenix, especially with his poor performance on the court this year. It will probably cost them multiple second-round picks, if not maybe their 2031 first-round pick, which Phoenix does not want to include, I don't think, in that kind of trade. So I didn't think they will shop Nurkic. The question is, does really any team want to help out Phoenix?
Hey, Evan, do you think, and I say this a little tongue-in-cheek, but do you think Danny Ainge messed up the trade market? Now everybody, want to get 2 or 3 first-round picks for borderline all-stars. Like, is the trade market out of whack right now?
Yeah, I will say that maybe a more recent domino that might have really messed up the market was the Mikal Bridges trade.
Mikal Bridges, yeah.
5 first-round picks, a pick swap, multiple second-round picks for Mikal Bridges.
Oh, man.
And that really sets the bar for why a team like Portland, for example, wants 2 first-round picks for Jeremy Grant. The Wizards want 2 first-round picks for Kyle Kuzma. It might seem crazy on the surface, but when you see a guy like Mikal Bridges now go for 5 first-round picks, other GMs are going to want to at least get some piece of the pie on that percentage. So you're going to see probably a lot more uptake on those types of deals. Like wings are going to be a lot more highly valued. And what you might not see as many wing deals on the market, except like a Cam Johnson or a Brandon Ingram type of deal.
Yeah, trade season in the NBA really tips off December 15th. So if you're not already, make sure you follow on X, Evan Sidery, national NBA reporter for Forbes. Thanks, Evan. We appreciate it. Hope to talk to you again real soon. We hope we think there's going to be a lot of things happening, so we hope to catch up with you soon on all that.
Absolutely. Anytime. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
Evan.
you very much. Ooh, so he's mentioning the guys that you like, and he's mentioning the guys